Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Houston, this is Station. I'm ready.
Canadian Space Agency, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is the Canadian Space Agency. How do you hear me?
Bonjour, Julie. I have you loud and clear.
Hello, Julie.
Welcome aboard Space Station.
Bonjour, David.
Hello, David.
Bonjour. Alors, on a plusieurs médias ici avec nous aujourd'hui. On va tout de suite
Hello.
commencer avec une question de Philippe Mercure de la presse.
We have with us the press.
Spatiale comme très physique. Pouvez-vous nous parler de ce que vous avez ressenti? Avez-vous eu faim? Vos muscles étaient-ils fatigués? Avez-vous chaud ou froid?
Can you tell us, how do you feel? Do you feel warm? Do you feel cold? Do you feel comfortable?
Alors, oui,
Well, yes.
spatial, c'est vraiment souvent, ça se compare à un marathon en termes de dépenses.
The Space Center is could be compared to a marathon.
Le plus remarquable,
What is most remarkable, perhaps, is the fact that it's easier to be up here than during training. We train on Earth in an enormous swimming pool with diving equipment. But here we do everything very liberally, very slow and deliberately. That's why we have to take our time. Everything is controlled in terms of our movements and psychologically. It also tends to settle us down. It's a tremendous experience. You feel very aware of the fact that it is very dangerous if not done correctly. We are here in an extreme environment. It's something of a miracle that we are able to operate up here. It's a very strange sense that you have. I'm very happy to be part of the experience, but at the same time, the adrenaline is flowing. I tried to sleep at first, and it took a while to get used to it.
Monsieur Saint-Jacques, bonjour.
Mr. Saint-Jacques.
De Radio-Canada.
Hello, I'm from Radio-Canada.
Est-ce que vous avez réalisé à un moment où est-ce que vous étiez et ce que vous faisiez? À quoi vous avez
Have you, at a certain moment, come to the realization of where you are and how has this affected your ability and your approach to your work? We're very busy every single moment. There's a lot of work to do, and never during the sequence of events and time is there time to be philosophical. We're fully engaged in observing everything, including the experience of being up here. But I know that once in a while, it does come to mind that after two trips, there's a sense of having been being up here, almost like in a miracle to be up here in this capsule. And we, of course, are struck by sentiments of creativity in the midst of vulnerability, being up here in space. Now we are able to live up here thanks to human ingenuity and engineering and the enormous amount of cooperation which enables us to get to work and do our jobs. Mr. Saint-Jacques, Mathieu Melmar of TVA. My question has to do with the effect that we can imagine. It's been your dream since you were a small boy. You've realized it now. I believe that it's a culminating part of your mission. Every 45 minutes during the day, at night, how do you feel? The temperature is constant. Yes, we do feel changes. This technological marvel, which has resulted in an environment that is comfortable, even very comfortable. But when the sun rises, you feel the sun that floods through this aircraft, the spacecraft, and we have the feeling also of. I brought with me a spacesuit.
Here
is the spacesuit.
Donc, comme vous voyez, c'est
As you can see, it's rather massive because there are many layers to protect us against the temperature variations. Within it,
et le plus important, évidemment,
the most important part, evidently, is what keeps us alive, is this part that contains our oxygen and a system for removing carbon dioxide, also humidity control and radio equipment. And here, if we, through some ill chance or misfortune, bang into the station, this brings us home again. There are lights and cameras. When there's sun, we have the sun visor that we can lower. The controls here for temperature control. The gloves, which are the only part which are a tube measure. All the other parts are generalized. But you can see that the gloves are made custom to our dimensions. You really cannot see the controls, and so you look at them through a mirror. And what's interesting here is on the left arm, this is our summary of all of the operations that we do while we're outside of the capsule, all of the operations that are necessary to control the spacesuit, and of course photographs that we bring with us as souvenirs from Earth.
Bonjour, M. Saint-Jacques.
Hello, Mr. Saint-Jacques. We had spoken back in December, and you told me there are a lot of challenges to overcome, to face. I'd like to know, what have you been? You have practiced and prepared for many things, but what is it that has really surprised you, astonished you, and impressed you, made a greatest impression on a day-to-day basis? From being out in space. What really surprised me was the effort, the continuing effort, and sustained continuous effort to make sure that the security and the longevity, continuity of space operations. Space has this capacity to pull, to inspire the best in human beings, to make us want to collaborate, to find solutions. And every day I am impressed by the quantity, the amount of energy, the positive energy that is expended in that sense, in that direction. And it's a good example, which gives me confidence for the future of my children, because on a daily basis, I see that when we want to, we can accomplish miracles.
Bonjour, Mr. Saint-Jacques.
Hello, Mr. Saint-Jacques. This is from Montreal. Congratulations for being up there. You were the first person from Quebec who has been up in space, who's taken spacewalks. How do you feel about being the first Quebecer? I'm very proud to have been able to do this. I'm very proud that Canada participates in this worldwide effort for the space program. I believe that beyond the exploration, if you wish, it has to do with the advance of knowledge for everything that has to do with the future of human race in the face of the crisis that faces. And I'm very proud to come from a place where we participate and we believe, and we are part of the point of the spear, the vanguard of exploration, if you will. And this is sort of a constant inspiration for the generation to come, because these are our children, the dreams that are inspired in them. In the future, I think that space is fundamental. And this is a privilege to be able to represent Canada and Quebec and Montreal, and to be able to also represent my family in a sense. It's a privilege. The requirements are very high and stringent. The Canadians have contributed a lot, and I appreciate very much the people who went before me. And I do the best I can to always be worthy of the example they've set, and to be able to fulfill the mission. Hello, I am from Péridor, from Quebec City.
Je rêve d'aller dans l'espace.
I dream of going to space, and I hope that I can go sometime.
Surtout quand je leur dis que j'ai échoué mes mathématiques 4,38.
And so I'm studying mathematics.
Avoir 41 ans.
Soon I'll be 41 years of age.
Civil comme moi d'aller un jour.
What hope might there be for a civilian like me to go out into space at some time?
Certainement, j'y crois.
Certainly, I believe if you have had asked your great-great-grandparents a century or more if someday would it be the possibility for people to, from Earth, to fly an airplane, that would have seemed completely like a ridiculous question, but now it's possible to do so. That's a little bit the adventure, the creativity, human ingenuity. Little by little, we push out the limits of what is possible, and eventually things become normal thanks to the creative energy and the knowledge and the comprehension, techniques, and the cooperation that we put at the service of it. And yes, I believe that it's human beings are willing to face dangers. What really surprised me, amazed me yesterday, I realized to what degree it was incredible to be in this environment, this mini environment in which I was. So distant from the Earth, and just thanks to human ingenuity. Currently, it requires thousands of people working in real time to make this possible, but I'm confident that someday this will be, it won't become routine, but it will be something that becomes a commonplace, everyday occurrence.
Donc j'ai des chances et j'en suis content, merci.
Thank you very much. I'm Chris Hadfield.
Lors d'une sortie extravéhiculaire,
so when you went on a spacewalk,
est-ce que lors de ta sortie,
when you were taking your spacewalk,
il y a un moment précis où tu as ressenti de façon étrange?
Was there a particular moment when you felt it's sort of strange to be out there walking through space?
Ouais, il y a un moment.
Well, there was one moment in which, of course, we do our work. The space structure is sort of a strange structure. It reminds you a little bit of the Eiffel Tower. In the background, you see Earth, and we are going around it. We have a certain sense of speed. Once I felt that, I had to tell myself, why are we here in orbit? We can fall, that's true. But there are little moments in which, happily, this is what maintains us in life, and that is our instinct to do our jobs right. Thank you.
Monsieur Saint-Jacques,
Mr. Saint-Jacques, again from Radio Canada. What was your most difficult day, would you say?
Vous savez,
you know,
pense pas que c'était ma plus
I think you can't really say it was the most difficult because it was such a positive experience. There is a surge of energy which is almost hidden, that you find capacities within yourself that you did not know you had when you're so enthusiastic to get the job done. You know, the most difficult day was the first extravehicular sortie. The 3 or 4 people before, nobody had seen such a thing. And so the 4 of us were working together to assure the security of the 2 who are outside the capsule. But for me, the day before yesterday when I went outside the capsule, that was absolutely very hard work, but at the same time, pure joy. Mr. Saint-Jacques again, Mathieu from TVA.
Comment vous vous êtes, si vous pouvez essayer de nous décrire de quelle façon vous vous êtes senti juste au moment où
Can you tell us or describe for us when you were just at the moment of entering space, what is the mixture of emotions that went through your mind? And then how did it feel when you were around the space station, outside of it? I'll describe the scene. I was the second to leave. The first was my colleague and friend, Anne McLean, who for her was the second exit. When I went out, it was night. We didn't see the Earth, really. but it was the moment at which the sun was rising. And so you see the blue line and the orange, as the sun rises, and then Anne's great smile. I understood then that I had arrived and that we were in space, and this image has remained imprinted in my spirit and my memory, and I don't think it'll ever be erased.
Monsieur Saint-Jacques, Annie Guillemette,
Mrs. Saint-Jacques.
du 98.5. Bon, vous l'avez dit, journée en or pour la sortie extravéhiculaire.
Well, you said it yourself. It was a golden day for you, your extravehicular exit. After you spent several, some days now still in space, what remains to you to be done? What challenges do you still have to face? Good question. You brought up an interesting point. You know, coming up here in a rocket was very emotional and technical hurdle to overcome. And once to be here in space aboard the station was an incredible feeling, but we're always conscious of the permanent danger that surrounds us to make sure that we preserve our lives here. But we get accustomed to it, and now we think of the space station as the safest place in which to be. And now it's been 3 more months to be up here, to live here. There's cargo that's coming up with Canadarm. Will be used to load it on board, scientific equipment. This is our life, normal life, and the challenge that remains now is to be able to return and safely to Earth, which remains one of the most dangerous part of the experience, and that is the return to Earth. We must never forget that it's very easy to become complacent and to forget the permanent danger which surrounds us, and to remain focused on the maintenance and use of this machine that is around us, which keeps us alive. And so that's what we concern ourselves with. Mrs. Saint-Jacques, from Radio Canada. You raised the point of feeling secure and safe aboard the space capsule far from Earth. But now, how do you feel about the eventuality of going into space orbit around the moon? I think we have mastered the major problems and questions. Now it's a question of reliability of the equipment at this time on board. Everything functions, but from time to time, every month or every other month, there's something that has to be replaced or repaired. And so when it comes to the moon, we have to have equipment that's much more reliable. When it comes to airplanes, we know that planes are not going to be changing fundamentally, but they become much more reliable over time. Airplanes have. And so this would be another stage because reliability is going to take years for travel that could take years. It will require greater reliability of equipment. This is not like an expedition in the forest or the mountain. This is a question of collaboration and technical development and ingenuity that's called for. We still haven't gotten there. Mars will be several decades away, the moon several years away, and those who are going to Mars are still children.
David, what are the next challenges will be to operate Canadarm2 to catch the Dragon cargo ship? How do you feel about that?
What a privilege! What a privilege! Being Canadian, of course, this is, it will be one of the highlights of the mission, and it's a dream for every Canadian astronaut to actually operate the Canadarm2. The capture of a cargo vehicle is an amazing challenge, an amazing feat of engineering we could all be proud of. Canadarm2 was not designed for that initially. It was a kind of a new challenge offered by NASA. Hey, do you think you guys could do this with your robotic arm? Could you actually catch cargo vehicles? And our engineers, rolled up their sleeves and figured out a way and kind of increased the capacity of Canadarm. And I think it speaks to the Canadian ingenuity and our kind of a spirit of, inventivity And I think it also shows a path to the future where exploration is going to be a mixture of human exploration and robotic exploration. And with artificial intelligence, we're going to be able to kind of, like, in a synergistic way, completely expand our capacity to explore and to invent.
Merci beaucoup, David. C'est tout.
Thank you very much, David.
Encore une fois, félicitations.
Once again,
de cette semaine et
it's
travail, on est tous derrière toi.
we're all behind you, and as you do your work. And this is our second meeting of the week. We'll thank all of you. Thank you, all of you, very much.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event. Thank you.
Thank you, Canadian Space Agency and participants. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communications.